What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Blue Corner MMA. Today, I want to talk about the upcoming bout for UFC 262 that is in the works for Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. Now, if you like the content, make sure that you treat that like button like Tony Ferguson treats a steel pole with his leg and absolutely destroy it. All right, let's get into this. So, via Ariel Helwani, we have an upcoming bout that is being talked about that's in the works for Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje for UFC 262. Now, we already know that Tony Ferguson is fighting Dariush on that card. Forgive me if I pronounced that wrong. I'm no John Anik, but we move on. So, I want to look into that Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler fight a little bit more and see what you guys think about what is going to happen. I'm going to give you my predictions. I'd love to hear your predictions. So, the way I see this fight turning out, we're just going to go ahead and dive right into it. All right, so I believe that, and I don't think this is going to be a shock to anyone, and before anyone says, I'm not just riding this Michael Chandler hype or this Michael Chandler wave, even though I do like Michael Chandler, loved him when he was at Bellator. He had some great performances, great fights against Eddie Alvarez. But I will say I like him in this fight. I like him against Justin Gaethje. I think he wins that fight. What round, how he wins, I don't know. That's kind of up in the air. I could definitely see him getting Justin Gaethje on the ground and just doing a ground and pound, whether he takes him out or not, or it just goes that way for 5 rounds. Who knows? But could this be for a belt? That's what I'm really curious about. Could this fight be for a belt? Because as we know, UFC 262 has a few fighters on it, but we don't have any main events set. Like I said, we know Tony Ferguson's on that card. I would love to see Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Dos Anjos. I think Charles Oliveira gets through that. I think he messed up by sitting around and not taking any fights, being very picky. I mean, come on, man. You beat Tony Ferguson and all of a sudden you think you're the #1 draw. You got to take your opportunities when you can. So I think he really messed up, but I would like to see him on that card as well against Rafael Dos Anjos. And I think he gets it done against Dos Anjos. But let's get back to Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. I think Khabib really exposed a huge part of Justin Gaethje's game that everyone thought would be his strength, and that he has no ground game whatsoever. We found that out very clearly, and I think it really showed off how good Conor's ground game is in comparison, because everyone was talking about Justin Gaethje was going to be the one who would give him the most trouble on the ground, and it was actually the complete opposite. He's never had an easier time on the ground. I mean, even going back to like Michael Johnson, someone who he absolutely demolished. So Justin Gaethje really exposed that he is not training his wrestling anymore. He has no jiu-jitsu, clearly. And all he does, and this is coming from other sources as well that have seen him in the gym, that all he does is go in there and just hit mitts. He's hitting the pads, hitting the bag, wanting to spar, not really practicing his wrestling. It's like anything else, guys. You will lose it. So I like Michael Chandler in this fight. And I'm not just saying that because of his recent win against Dan Hooker. I really do think that Michael Chandler is going to press him. I think Justin Gaethje is going to start backing up. And if Michael Chandler shoots, gets him up against the fence, and gets him down, it is a long, long night for Justin Gaethje. I think everyone knows it. I think Michael Chandler knows that. Don't get me wrong, Khabib is in a league of his own. That is an unfair comparison. But the fact that Khabib went through him as easily as he did, and he did it on the ground, the one that was supposed to give him the hardest trouble, the one that was supposed to stuff the takedowns, like I said, I think that exposed a huge part of his game. And not to mention, Michael Chandler's got hands too, as we saw with Dan Hooker. That man can catch you and put you to sleep. He can. Don't get me wrong, Justin Gaethje's got a little bit better of a chin than Dan Hooker, but Justin Gaethje has taken some damage in his career. So, and Dustin Poirier exposed that as well, that he can be taken out. But I do think Michael Chandler gets this done at UFC 262. Is it for a belt, though? Because Dustin Poirier said that Conor does not deserve the next shot at the title, which puts you in such a weird position because apparently Dana already said it was worked out in the contract before the Conor fight of what happens if Conor wins and what happens if Dustin wins. So it was already worked out. I think the rematch was already kind of in the clause, and they're going to do that fight looking like in July. So do they make this one for the title? I don't like Justin Gaethje immediately stepping in for a title fight, but at the same time, something has to be done in the lightweight division. if we're not going to give that title fight to Conor Dustin 3. If that's not the fight that they're going to make the title for, which Dustin Poirier is saying that Conor doesn't deserve the next shot, so I guess they're just going to have another bout like they did this last time. And guys, Khabib is retired. I don't know why we keep spinning around. I'm tired of waiting on him. The division has to move on. So what are they going to do? Are they going to make 262 for an interim lightweight belt? I don't know. But I can tell you right now, whoever wins that 262 fight will fight the winner of Poirier-McGregor 3. So guys, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below, and I appreciate you joining us again. Until next time, peace.